Stations like this one are part of a new plan by the Chinese government to publicly shame citizens caught breaking the law.
More than a third of Chinese millionaires actually plan to move out of the country in the coming years. That's according.
Everywhere she goes, Ouyang Haoyu is followed. What she buys, how she behaves.
To stop using new affected Huawei equipment to build the UK's future 5G net.
It's a rough road to recovery for China's economy. Investments into the country are drying up.
In the US, Canada, Australia, the UK, the concept of China is so different because the news they've seen on their TV channels is completely different from reality.
This is Shenzhen, and this is also Shenzhen. This, Shenzhen, and this too. Shenzhen might not be as well known as Beijing or Shanghai, but this city is a powerhouse of urban development and innovation. And in this video, I will tell you how they did it all in just 40 years.
I never really wanted to leave. I never considered moving to any other city. And I don't think I will change my mind anytime soon.
This is Shenzhen, the third largest city in China by GDP and the place where I've been living for the last 10 years. In 1978, China started opening up its economy under the leadership of Deng Xiaoping, shifting from a closed, centrally planned system toward market-oriented reforms. As part of this new strategy, in 1980, Shenzhen was chosen as one of the first special economic zones. The idea was to create a testing area for economic reforms that attract foreign investment by offering incentives like tax breaks, less strict regulations, and more freedom for businesses. The goal was to jumpstart rapid industrialization and economic growth.
Shenzhen is constantly changing. For some people, they don't feel it's the right place to live. They just come here for maybe a few years and then they just leave.
To put things into perspective, let's compare it to San Francisco. Both cities serve as pillars of innovation for the world's two largest economies, China and the United States of America. These cities are also home to some of the most influential companies globally. Shenzhen is often called the Silicon Valley of China, and for a very good reason. It shares many similarities with its American counterpart. In fact, this megacity was built from the ground up by the Chinese government, aiming to replicate the success of Silicon Valley. But there is a key difference between Shenzhen and Silicon Valley. Shenzhen is not only an innovation hub, but also a major industrial production center. About 80% of electronics are actually made here in Shenzhen or in the nearby cities of the Greater Bay Area like Chongshan, Foshan, or Dongguan. This makes it quite different from its American counterpart, which focuses more on software and innovation rather than hardware manufacturing. So Shenzhen can quickly turn ideas into physical products, speeding up development and making the whole process more integrated and efficient.
You know, it's so interesting to see the evolution of Shenzhen is in such a short period of time. No other city, no other metropolis in the world has reached such a remarkable achievements as Shenzhen.
Part of the success of Shenzhen as a tech hub is thanks to its neighbor Hong Kong, one of the region's major financial centers. In the 1980s and 1990s, a significant portion of the capital invested in Shenzhen came from Hong Kong. In the 90s, Hong Kong was the big, flashy financial center, way ahead. Shenzhen was still catching up, just getting started. But by 2020s, things flipped. Shenzhen grew fast, became a tech giant, and now leads in innovation and manufacturing. So now Shenzhen has taken the spotlight. But in 2018, Shenzhen overtook Hong Kong in terms of GDP for the very first time. making a major shift in the region's economic landscape. Back then, Shenzhen's GDP reached about $354 billion US, growing at a 70.5% year over year. By 2024, this GDP increased to approximately $510 billion US, with a growth rate of 5.8%. This rapid growth positions Shenzhen as the third largest city economy in China, only behind Shanghai and Beijing.
Becoming the third largest GDP in China in just a few decades. The city that has seen companies like DJI, Huawei, or Tencent, or Bilibili born. They created an amazing city. Just look around you, like all these buildings, parks, and Shenzhen has done that in 40 years or less.
But during the last 40 years, the government didn't just pour money into factories. They built universities to train the next generation and set up research centers to spark innovation. That's how tech giants like Huawei and Tencent got their start right here in Shenzhen. Tencent is one of China's biggest and most influential tech companies. Shenzhen's model really paid off for China. Take Tencent for example, the company behind WeChat, the most popular app in China and one of the most used in the entire world by number of users. It's a solution that became part of everyday life for millions, showing just how powerful Shenzhen's innovation can be. Decades ago, Chinese companies didn't actually cause that much disruption, but that has changed a lot. Just look at DJI, the world's largest drone company, which has completely transformed the industry. Today, this Shenzhen-born company controls over 70% of the global drone market.
China is a huge country, and it has beautiful cities and landscape. You know, you have Shanghai, Beijing, Chongqing, Xi'an, but Shenzhen is still getting there. I somehow want to help in this process of making Shenzhen a very well-known city.
Shenzhen is one of the fastest growing cities in the whole world. By the end of 2024, Shenzhen's permanent resident population reached around 18 million. Back in 1980, it was just about 30,000. That's an astonishing increase, nearly 600 times in just 44 years.
First places I wanted to go was KK1. In that time was the tallest building in Shenzhen. Later on they built the Ping'an Dasha. Now it's the tallest one here. Everywhere you go is like a super vibrant place with modern architecture, with beautiful parks, open spaces.
Shenzhen ranks third in the world for the number of buildings over 150 meters, just behind Hong Kong and New York City. In 2016 alone, more skyscrapers were completed in Shenzhen than in the entire United States and Australia combined. Its tallest building, the Ping'an Finance Center, is the second tallest in China and the fourth tallest in the world. The Shenzhen Stock Exchange was officially established on December 1st, 1990, and by 2024 had a market capitalization of approximately $4.53 trillion US, ranking it as the 8th largest stock exchange in the whole world. Companies like Huawei and DJI have played a major role in Shenzhen's growth. By becoming global leaders, Huawei in telecommunications and DJI in drones, these companies have put Shenzhen on the world map, helping attract investment to the city.
If they have done this in just a short period of time, I'm pretty sure what is about to come in the next 40 years is going to be even more amazing. That's the reason why I don't want to leave. That's the reason I want to stay here, because I want to see that evolution of the city.
The port of Shenzhen is among the busiest container ports in the whole world. In 2023, it handled approximately 29.88 million containers, ranking it fourth worldwide, following Shanghai, Singapore, and Ningbo, Chosan. To give you a sense of scale, if you line up 29.88 million containers end to end, they will wrap around the Earth almost 4 times. China has been the world's largest automaker since 2019. In 2016, its annual vehicle production accounted for about 30% of the global total, surpassing the output of the European Union or the US and Japan combined. BYD, headquartered in Shenzhen, is one of the world's biggest automakers, especially known for its electric vehicles and batteries. In fact, BYD has not only matched, but in certain aspects surpassed Tesla in EV production and market presence, particularly in Europe and emerging markets.
I do have many friends who've been here for like 10 years, 15 years, 25 years, so they consider China or Shenzhen as their home. In a few years, we're gonna have like a very solid community of expats living in here for like many decades.
As of 2024, Shenzhen is home to about 70 billionaires, making it a hotspot for wealth and innovation. People love living here, not just for the opportunities, but also because it's much safer than places like the US. China's overall crime rate is significantly lower, with homicide rates around 0.5 per 100,000 people, compared to about 5 per 100,000 people in the US.
Going to parks. Yuan or Taoyuan Park is one of the places we love to go. We also love to go to the seaside, like the beach, like in Dameisha, Dapeng, that area.
Shenzhen is a perfect example of China's prosperity and rapid development. Take the city's many parks, over 1,200 in total, along with the state-of-the-art facilities you can find throughout the city. They really show how far the city and the country have come.
I mean, you've been here longer than me.
Yeah.
I think you understand what I'm saying when I talk about the city.
I went to study in the US. So when I came back, they say like Shenzhen has the same name as like Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou.
Yeah.
I was a little bit surprised. I never really see my city as, like a first class city. Like as you see, what you perceive is Shenzhen's already a modern city.
Yeah. Do you feel it now?
Yeah, I feel it right now.
Shenzhen has achieved a remarkable milestone by fully electrifying its public transportation fleets. In 2017, Shenzhen became the first city globally to operate an entirely electric bus fleet, comprising over 16,000 vehicles. That is more than the entire fleet of New York City, New Jersey, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Toronto combined. And then, in 2018, Shenzhen successfully converted its entire fleet of over 22,000 taxis to electric vehicles, making it the first city worldwide to achieve this feat. But the growth of the city also brings some challenges. Shenzhen has one of the highest car density per square kilometer in China, which has contributed to traffic congestion. So, since 2014, Shenzhen has limited the number of new vehicle registrations through a quota system. Each year, the city issues a fixed number of new license plates, distributed via lottery and auction. Shenzhen has also one of the most advanced, modern, and extensive subway networks in the whole world. The Shenzhen Metro, which began operation in 2004, now spans over 560 kilometers with more than 300 stations across 16 lines. In 2023, its daily ridership was over 6 million passengers. The city continues to expand the network and actively encourages residents to use public transportation as a cleaner, more efficient alternative to driving.
There are a lot of projects happening in Shenzhen, like the Tencent Island, for example, the new indoor ski platform. All these projects are going to help Shenzhen to boost their economy and their name as a world-class city.
But this city is already thinking about the future of mobility. In early 2025, Shenzhen introduced 15-minute helicopter rides, offering residents and tourists a new perspective of the city and marking a significant step towards normalizing low-altitude travel. Shenzhen's initiatives are part of China's broader strategy to become a global leader in the low-altitude economy, which encompasses activities below 1,000 meters, including urban air mobility, drone logistics, and aerial tourism.
I love to go outside, and when I see something, it's like, oh my God, I need to come here and make a video about it. Because I really want people to know about Shenzhen. This metropolis is going to become a world famous city. I'm so sure of that. Do you know what's that? The K11?
Oh, yeah, I saw the video.
They're about to open probably in the next few days, and it's going to be a huge thing. That area is also like super brand new, where the new ferry port is. They also managed to build like a micro city in this place that was water a few years ago, but now they just built all these high-rise buildings. It's not finished yet, but they're also making like hotels, like office buildings, apartment buildings.
It's clear that Shenzhen is one of the most forward-thinking and futuristic cities in the whole world, with high living standards and rapid innovation. What's crazy is that just a few decades ago, it was a small fishing town with around 30,000 people. Now, it's home to around 18 million and packed with innovation. So yeah, if you're wondering whether Shenzhen is futuristic and has high living standards, the answer is 100% yes. It's one of those cities that feels like it's already living in tomorrow.
I'm so happy I have chosen Shenzhen to live as my city, as my new hometown.